to another episode of Ace's Media Mayhem, the review show where I talk about my personal opinions and ratings of various forms of media. Today, I want you to go back in time, if you happen to be an 80s or 90s child, and picture your favorite RPG game. No. That one is too soon, too soon. Go back further. No. Go back even further. Number one, that's not an RPG, and number two, that's too far back. Come a little bit more forward. There we go. You know the RPGs that started out on the 8-bit systems and then continued on to the 16-bit systems and continued to be improved upon thereafter? Take that RPG and condense it all down to a single goal, where the world is a straight line and a line of death is coming straight at your character continuously. This is One Way Heroics. One Way Heroics was developed by Japanese game developer Smoking Wolf and released through Playism in 2013, followed by Steam release in 2014. One Way Heroics has you playing as a character that can select from 8 unlockable classes and 13 unlockable perks. Your objective in the game is to outrun the darkness that's following you in each world. Yes, each world. One of the unique things about the game development kit Wolf RPG Creator is that it has the capability of creating an infinite number of worlds using a unique auto map feature. You start off in the castle and get to meet King Victor, who will soon send you on his way in order to confront the Dark Lord of the world and to outrun the impending darkness always coming from the left. The game is easy to learn but hard to master. It features such familiar RPG tropes such as recruitable allies, a large assortment of customized weapons and armor for you to collect and create, enemies that you can see on the overworld screen that you can avoid or encounter, and intuitive controls. However, as I mentioned before, this game does feature unique things, such as a fairy who is able to help you out throughout the game by offering advice, changing terrains that will offer you different types of enemies, as well as benefits and disadvantages as you make your journey across the land, unique stamina system which will affect how you regain your health as well as how you cross the terrain, randomly generated dungeons, towns, and settlements for you to encounter, and of course the clock in the top right hand corner that tells you when you shall encounter your demon lord. So every time the clock hits the noon mark, whether you're doing a set distance or random distance with the demon lord, heads up, he is on his way to kill you. Be prepared or die trying. Playing this game gives me a very big feeling of nostalgia, thinking back to the games that I have played throughout the years, especially during the Famicom and Super Famicom systems, or Nintendo and Super Nintendo systems here in America. Some of the games that we still hold in high regard today, despite the time that has passed for them, include such popular games and game franchises such as the Final Fantasy franchise, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, the Dragon Quest franchise, the Secret of Mana franchise, the Breath of Fire series, the Diablo franchise, the Baldur's Gate franchise, and Phantasy Star Online games, just to name a few. With One Way Heroics, you have the option of also getting the downloadable content of Plus Edition. This edition includes increased difficulty, new perks and allies to collect, some new terrain for you to encounter, new enemies, and improvements to the overall quality of gameplay, including new features for you to experiment with, such as new add ons for you to have in the game, a new running system that allows you to get bursts of speed throughout the game, only halting when you get close to an enemy or a encounter that may prove to be unfortunate for your character, a new plus tutorial at the very beginning of the game for those of you who are starting out, and much more. As I mentioned before, this game does feature an infinite number of worlds. One of those worlds on a daily basis will become available for multiple players to play against one another in an attempt to get ahead on the leaderboard, and also if they happen to pass on, leave behind a portion of their loot for others to encounter. Overall, this game is very enjoyable, each playthrough lasting anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your planning of how to tackle each world and experience. The game, including DLC, features 11 recruitable companions plus multiple endings, 11 classes for you to earn, some of which will need to be unlocked through achievements, 4 different difficulty levels, once again, some needing to be unlocked later, 9 different terrains, and that wonderful experience of being able to play a high quality 16-bit adventure going across the land, fighting enemies, and attempting to save the world. This game, as simple as it is very complex and is one of those great examples of simple to learn, very difficult to master. As you can see in this particular gameplay footage, I was not having a lot of luck with this gameplay of Plus version with the character that I chose, but each game is a learning experience, helping you to understand what you need to do and where you can make changes to hopefully get a little further next time. This game also holds a lot of value, as during sale times on Steam, you're able to get the full game plus the DLC for under $10. Overall, for its value and content, I'm giving One Way Heroics plus its DLC, One Way Heroics Plus, a very, very achievable 4 out of 5. Thank you everyone for joining me for this episode of Aces Media Mayhem. Tune in very soon for another review, as well as keeping an eye out for my next box office run. Until then, see ya.